Hi, I'm Patty Ann Brown, and you are in the Strategy Room. The day after the most watched presidential debate in history, both candidates, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, hit the campaign trail Tuesday, where they continued to verbally attack one another. Is this post-debate taunting a good strategy? Joining us now are Democratic strategist Joe Lestingi and Republican strategist and author of While America Slept, Restoring American Leadership to a World in Crisis, Robert O'Brien. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
So Monday night during the debate, Clinton debuted a new phrase to insult Trump's economic strategy. She calls it trumped-up trickle-down. Trump, meanwhile, revived the crooked Hillary name. Joe, is this taunting effective?
Well, you know, it's interesting. The debates, even though we had record viewership, we actually had a discussion in my office about who was actually swayed here. And I don't know that these debates actually do anything for undecided voters or independent voters that aren't watching them, right? Because there's still huge amounts of people not watching them. Debates are all about the post-debate spin. Who can get out there and reinforce the message that they got down, figure out the good zingers that they can get back and repeat it in the press, both on cable news networks and in newspapers. So the taunting continues because they're both just harping back to the strategies that worked for them both prior to the debate and in the debate. So I think this going forward is going to set the tone for the rest of this week. And as we near the vice presidential debate, yawn, and then we get into the next big show, you'll see these things start to creep up again.
Yeah. Well, Trump, meanwhile, spoke at a rally in Melbourne, Florida yesterday. He said the former Secretary of State is, quote, stuck in the past, that she spent all of her time at the debate defending the terrible status quo while he wants to bring back prosperity. Robert, who is winning the economic debate right now?
I think that Donald Trump had a very strong opening to the debate where he focused on NAFTA and some of the trade issues that are really hitting his voters hard. And Secretary Clinton, having supported NAFTA through her husband, having called TPP a gold standard treaty, was really on the defensive. But what was interesting about the debate is I thought Hillary Clinton was far more aggressive than Donald Trump. Donald Trump was pretty restrained in his attacks. He didn't go after the Clinton Foundation. He didn't go after some of the pay-for-play at the State Department. He really didn't even hit the emails that hard. He certainly didn't go after Bill Clinton. Hillary Clinton was far tougher, had far more personal attack lines against him. And so I think Donald Trump is now ratcheting things up on the campaign trail, maybe in response to that, the attacks he received at the debate.
Well, yeah, in fact, Trump is now claiming that he did hold back during the debate. He says he didn't want to embarrass Mrs. Clinton or her daughter Chelsea, who was in attendance. The implication being that Trump considered pointing out former President Bill Clinton's reported infidelity. Joe, what do you make of the fact that Trump toyed with bringing that up, and the fact that he opted not to bring it up, and the fact that he then bragged about not bringing it up?
Yeah, I mean, that's just pure cowardice. If you're gonna do it, do it. It's like the guy after the fight that said, "Oh, well, I would have done this and I would have done this." Meanwhile, his face is bloodied and he's been beaten up. This was, first off, if he does do this in the next debate, it will be to his detriment. There are plenty of women in America who have been in these situations, and they don't like being judged personally based on their spouse and their actions. Men, too. There are men that have been cheated on in their lives, and they don't want to be judged based on the personalities and the actions of their spouse, and that's an unfair comparison. And the minute he does it, I see the gender gap exploding, which then implodes his campaign. He has got to win women in this race, or he's going to be just a dead man walking through the campaign. And bringing up the infidelities, which she had no part of, is the same as victim shaming, which, again, is something that's going to be a losing strategy. And then to come back and say that he's all high and mighty trying to protect the women in the Clinton family is another degrading statement. If you're going to do it and allow her to then come after you. Throwing those shots afterwards is just cheap.
Yeah, Mrs. Clinton says that she did not feel that Trump was holding back. She's noting his jab about how she spent some time off the campaign trail. She says to prepare for the debate. There was some speculation she was resting up after some health issues as well. Robert, was it valid for Trump to bring that up?
Well, I think it was valid for him to bring up the fact that she wasn't on the campaign trail and that she was doing debate prep, and that's what I took it as. I think his idea was, I don't have to do debate prep. I know where I stand. And I agree with Joe. I don't think bringing up Bill Clinton's infidelity helps Trump in any measurable way or hurts Secretary Clinton. I think there are enough other things with the Clinton Foundation, with her emails. I thought his best zinger of the line was talking about the DNC hack and saying, hey, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and you conspired to deny Bernie Sanders the nomination. And since there are a lot of millennials and Sanders voters who haven't come on board yet for Secretary Clinton, I thought he should have turned to the camera and said, listen, if you're a Bernie Sanders voter and you had the election stolen from you, as we now know from the emails, vote for me, I'm against these trade deals. But he didn't take it the next step. And so I think there's plenty of fodder for him in the next debate. I'm sure she's got a whole a packet of zingers to go as well. She had no problem going after him and his business practices. So I think the next debate is really going to be the Thriller in Manila, part 2.
We shall see. All right, Robert and Joe, thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And for complete coverage of the 2016 election, go to foxnews.com. I'm Patty Ann Brown. Thanks for watching.